welcome everyone on Facebook. Welcome to the weekly live training and coaching session with me, Kelly McHugh. I'm the founder of Digital Yoga Academy. As you start to join on Instagram and also on Facebook, say hello, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know where you're watching from. Today we're talking about fears of being visible online. Okay, now I know with the work that I do with yoga teachers from all over the world, visibility is one of the key things. Visibility and the fear of being visible in an online space, whether that's Facebook or on Instagram or wherever it might be, can really stop us in our tracks, can hold us back from sharing our message and sharing what we love, and sharing the message of yoga. So that's what I'm talking about today. I'm going to address these 4 fears that can really, they're common fears. They show up time and time and time again. And I want you to see if you kind of relate to them as I'm talking about them. So who have we got here on Facebook? I can see we've got a few people joining. Who's here? Sometimes Facebook is a little slow to tell me who has arrived in the room. So welcome, guys. Who have we got here? We've got Pramu, Devish. Who else have we got? Lindsay from Trinidad, Tobago. Coconut Oil B. Shiva from Australia. Hey guys, so thank you so much for joining me today. Like I said, we're talking about visibility and the 4 fears of that can hold you back. But I want you just to kind of have a think about these questions now as I go through them. You know, how visible are you? How visible are you being in your business? And how many people know about you? Like, are you going live on Facebook? Are you doing a podcast? Are you getting your content up on YouTube? Yeah, are you putting your passions and your knowledge around yoga into written words and sharing that on social media or on your website through blog posts? Are you showing up on Instagram stories? What are you doing to get yourself out there? Like, are you doing all the things that you need to do to show up for your potential ideal students and really show them, what you got to offer? Are you doing this? Hello, Harjit. Hello. Hey. So because if you're not visible, well, what does that mean? It means nobody really knows about you in the online space. So if you're a teacher that's teaching in studios, or you're setting up your own classes and you're teaching in person, but you're not showing up online, you're missing out on an opportunity not only to connect with your existing students, because everybody's hanging out online at some point. So you're missing out on that opportunity to continue to share your message with your existing students, but you're also missing out on the opportunity to find new students, to reach new people with your message and with your content. And it means that essentially nobody's going to know about your gifts and your talents and your message and your skills, because you end up being unseen in this online space. And that's a real shame, because the online space is incredible. It's an incredible means for us to connect with people and to start and build relationships with people. And these are potential ideal students for you that could go on to book your yoga retreat or come into your online course. So we have a real opportunity to be in this space, and it means we have to show up. It means we have to be visible, but with that, it also means we have to address the fears that can rise up when we put ourselves out there and when we do this. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about today, because I know that deep down, and from all of the teachers that I work with, I know that one of the key things is that yoga teachers, one of the key things that they really, really want to work towards is to make a difference in the world, right? You want to make an impact in the lives of your students. So that really requires you to get out there and share what you do. Okay, so I'm diving into this today, and we're going to talk about the fears of visibility, specifically 4 common fears and how to overcome them. And so let's dive straight into it. Okay, so we're talking about these 4 fears, and those 4 fears are: number 1, the fear of looking stupid. Okay, we're just afraid that we're going to look stupid. Number 2, the fear of not having enough content or not having good enough content to share. Yeah. Number 3 is the fear of not showing up professional enough or polished enough, okay, for want of a better word. And number 4 number 4 is the fear of being judged. Fear of being judged. Okay, so let's talk about each one individually, and then I'm going to give you some tools to overcome each of these fears. Okay, so the first fear I want to talk about is the fear of looking stupid. Okay, and a lot of people think, you know, what if I say something wrong, or what if I stutter, or what else could you think? What if I forget what I'm going to say? Like, what if I forget what I wanted to say? And there's really a million things that could happen to me right now in this situation. You know, I'm going live on Instagram, I'm going live on Facebook. There's a lot of things that could happen that could go wrong right now. Yeah. And actually, those things are happening all the time. They do. They happen all the time. Things go wrong for me all the time when I go live on Instagram and Facebook. Okay, it's just part of it. But the thing is, you know, I deal with it and I move on. Okay, and it's important that you do that. Like when you get a tech issue or anything like that, or maybe you say the wrong thing or it doesn't come out quite as you would have liked, you have to just deal with it and you have to move on. Because who is this message for that you're trying to get out there? Like, who are you doing this work for? Yeah? Who are you doing it for? You know, you're doing it for your people, aren't you? You're doing it for your community. You're sharing this message for your community. And I say this all the time, but you have to make your message much bigger than your fear. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. You know, if you feel like you look stupid because you said something wrong, well, actually, what was the overarching message you were trying to share that day when you went live on Instagram and everything, you know, didn't quite go so right? Or, you know, the other day I was live and I had a delivery man knock at the door, you know, and he's knocking on the window and I'm like, I'm going live here. So, you know, sometimes things happen like that. It's live, but you have to just kind of stay focused, move on and keep going. Yeah. So the point is, you know, when you're in, whether you're recording a video or you're going live or whatever it might be, in the way that you're being visible, you're doing that because you're hoping that people are going to get some sort of value from it. So when you take yourself out of the picture and you let go of, you know, this worry about how you look or the way you speak or the way you show up, when you really just focus on giving value to people and you focus on service and you focus on love and you do it enough, you really start to forget about yourself, right? You forget about yourself. You don't worry so much about yourself anymore because you know that your purpose and your mission is really to achieve value and to give value to your students and the people who actually need it. Yeah. So how does that resonate with you guys? Is this a fear that shows up for you in terms of, you know, oh, I really want to go live I really want to do an Instagram story, but I just feel like I'm not saying the right thing, or I feel really silly, or I feel stupid doing it. I don't feel right. Is this showing up? I'm getting a thumbs up here in the comments. What about for you guys here on Facebook? Is this something that's showing up for you in terms of, is it holding you back? Is it holding you back, you know? Is it holding you back? So, you know, it's really about making, we say all the things, yeah. It's really about making it about your student. Make this about your student. Do you feel like you're putting that into practice? Are we putting that into practice, guys? Are we making it about our students? So that's fear number 1. And the second fear that I hear all the time, is, well, Kelly, yeah, I want to do this, but I want to go live, but I just don't feel like I've got enough content yet, or my content isn't quite good enough yet to share. You know, I need to make it better before I need to make my blog post much better before I can share it. You know, get the goddamn blog post out there, press publish, just get it live. You know, stop holding yourself back with this fear of like, it has to be perfect. So this is the other thing, isn't it? You know, we think we have to have everything perfect before we can, you know, send the email or post the social media post or do whatever it is. But the thing is, if we get so stuck in that place, we're never going to get anything out. We're never going to make progress. Yeah. And, you know, if you had an entire content team at your disposal and, you know, you had big budgets to spend on creating high quality content, then yes, you want that stuff to be pretty perfect, you know, before it goes out, because you've got the resource there. Yeah, you've got the resource and you've got the time potentially. But, you know, you're one person potentially on your own, yoga business owner. And the point here is that we just want to provide some value and some support and some help to our students. Yeah, we want to help them with their yoga journey. So, you know, don't sit on that blog post. If you've got something important to share and it's come from your heart and you can read back on something, you know, it doesn't have to be 2,000 words long. You know, if you've got 500, 600, 700 words of something that you are really passionate about, then get it out there, you know, make it sound like you're talking to a friend. That's always a good kind of quality stick, is to read back on something and say, does this sound like I'm talking to a friend, that I'm explaining this concept, this yoga concept, or whatever it might be, to my friend? And if it does, then just press publish. You're good to go. Get it out there. Get it out there. So yeah, so here we have a question. I'm just going to go to this question here from Higher Power Art Yoga. She says, get confused about what is best to put into a feed post and what should be on stories. So I always see your feed is like the glossy magazine page of your, you know, of your business, right? It's the glossy magazine page of your business. And then stories is kind of like the reality TV show. Yeah, it's the behind the scenes stuff. It can be it's less polished. Whereas your feed, you want to really be sharing, you know, really like high quality content, nice imagery. You want it to be looking nice. The message needs to be on point of what you're saying, or what you're sharing. But your stories is very much can be, you know, you can still talk about what you've just shared on your feed and direct people there to go and read it. But don't be afraid to share you know, people connect with people. Yeah, so don't be afraid to talk about your day or where you're going, or or a conversation you've had with someone that sparked a new thought around something. Or, you know, if you've got some points that you've just written in a blog post, get onto stories and talk about a few of those points and then direct people to the blog post to read more. So mix it up, but have a reason, like have a call to action, whether that's pushing someone to an IGTV video, or, you know, sharing telling people to go to the link in your bio if you haven't got the swipe up feature. Of course, you can use the swipe up feature if you use IGTV, and I actually did a training about that last week, so go and watch that on the go to the Facebook page, the Digital Yoga Academy Facebook page, and you can find that video training as well. But have a call to action, like use stickers, use GIFs, ask questions, use polls. That's what all these features are for, is to really interact and engage. It's the closest way you're going to interact and engage with your community is through stories, yeah? So use those features. So yeah, so I think sometimes, going back to fear number 2, is that, you know, we feel that our content isn't good enough to share it. Yeah, we think, oh, it's not good enough to share yet. And, you know, what I'll say to you is, like, you haven't anything to prove here. We've got nothing to prove, but we've got everything to share. Yeah, that's something that Ian Thin, I interviewed him earlier this year in the summer. That's something he said, and that really stuck with me. Nothing to prove, everything to share. And it's so true, you know, when you're connected to your purpose and your passion, yeah, and you're really coming from this place of service and love, and it's really just your mission to, like, make a difference for people, like your students, you don't have to worry about, you know, is what I'm sharing good enough? Yeah, you don't need to worry about telling people what they should do and helping them as much as you can, because your purpose is to serve, right? Your purpose is to serve, and it's just to be there and to make a difference. So don't worry about everything having to be really polished before you share it. Okay, so how's that one resonating with you guys? Number two, fear number two, feeling that our content isn't good enough, or we've not got enough to share. Is this one coming up for you? Is this one holding you back? Is it holding you back? Because the other aspect of this, or the other part of this, is that maybe you think there's no point in sharing it because it's already out there. The content's already out there. You know, people can Google this stuff. They can Google the information, or they can look it up. You know, they find everything that I'm sharing here. So there's no point. And the problem is that, you know, yes, every piece of information is out there, is at our fingertips, right? Everything, nothing is really new. Everything is out there already. And the problem is that having the information is not actually good enough for most people, right? They may have the information, but they can't, you know, implement it. They can't implement it because, you know, they're lacking guidance and support from a teacher. Yeah, from you. They're lacking your guidance and support or motivation, or the way that you break it down, the way that they connect with you as their teacher is actually what they need in order for them to make sense of the information. Does that make sense, guys? Okay, Abigail says, I have so much to share, I don't know where to start. You need to create a content plan. You need to create a content plan and work out all of these things that you want to share, and you're going to put them each week into a nice order of all the things that you're going to share, and look at how you can break them down and repurpose the content to share in lots of different ways. A plan is a really great place to start. If you've got lots of ideas, getting it down on paper, getting it into a spreadsheet is a really great place to start. Okay, so this is it. You know, people might have the information at their fingertips, but they need someone to help them make sense of it, yeah? So that they can actually achieve something from that information, so they can actually do something with that information. Quite often we'll read a blog post, but do we actually do anything with it from what we've actually read? Yeah, so you really have the opportunity here to, you know, be visible, to connect and form a relationship, you know, so that people can learn how they can actually embody that information or use that information that you're sharing with them instead of just knowing it. Yeah, and when you do that, when you continue to do that and support people in that way, when you continue to show up, you know, and you support them, you make them accountable for making yoga a part of their life, then, you know, you're really starting to create a bond with somebody. You're creating a bond with someone and you're helping them. So, you know, your potential students are going to go from reading your blog posts, they're going to go from like maybe watching your Facebook lives, watching your videos, you know, really kind of starting to consume your content that you're putting out there. And, you know, if that enables them to take action, then that's brilliant, isn't it? That's absolutely brilliant. That's what you've set out to achieve. Okay, so that's number two. That's fear number two. So let's talk about the fear of not being polished enough, or not coming across as professional as we think we need to be. This is fear number three. Fear number three. And, you know, when I'm working with teachers, I often hear them say to me, oh, Kelly, why can't I show up as you? You always look really professional. Or how can I be more polished? Like, how can I show up and put my best face forward? And, you know, what they don't see is like the million mistakes that I've made and that I'm still making. And, you know, I think, you know, nothing's ever perfect, is it, really? Nothing's ever perfect. And people really do appreciate, you know, your authenticity when you show up a lot more than your perfectionism. So rather than worrying about, you know, am I looking as best as I can today, or, you know, is my background or whatever looking really good? Really just focus on being you. Focus on being you, showing up as you. And I think the video aspect that we have, you know, on Facebook and on Instagram is really interesting, because not only are the platforms pushing it out more, they you know, they love video. So if you use it, you're going to be, you know, they're going to give you a little pat on the back and they're going to push it out for you more. But the great thing about it is that you just have this opportunity to show the real you. And as I said before, people love people, right? People love connecting with people. And as a yoga teacher, you know, you can really use this to just to share your story more. You know, it doesn't all have to be about yoga. Hello, Celeste. Hello. It doesn't all have to be about yoga. You know, you share your story and keep showing up. So really don't feel like you have to be this polished person with all your makeup on or whatever. You know, don't worry about any of that. You know, I have my off days as well, where I'm just going to think, okay, I'm showing up here, and it doesn't matter, because actually I've got a message to share, and that's way more important. It's way more important. So I think, you know, I think with this, it's all about practice. And as you practice, you're going to get your own style. Like, I remember when I first started doing these lives and getting onto stories and things like this, I felt a bit stiff. Like, I will be honest, like, and I always say to you guys, go back to my archive, my video archive on the Digital Yoga Academy Facebook page, and go and look at some of the first videos there. And you'll see, yeah, I was showing up, but I was like very awkward, very awkward looking, and, you know, doing my best, because I knew that I had to connect with my people. I knew I had to connect with you guys, and that's the way I was going to do it. It was through video. But the more you do it, you will start to feel more comfortable as time goes on, and the more you do it. And you will make mistakes, and that's fine. Just carry on. Just carry on, and you'll find your own style. You'll find your groove with it eventually. But it's all about practice. It really is about practice. Okay, so the last common fear of that. So today, if you've just joined me, we're talking about 4 common fears of being visible, showing up in your business. And the last fear is the fear of being judged. It's fear of being judged. And, you know, maybe you are in a corporate job. Yeah, maybe you're in a corporate job, and this yoga thing is a little bit of a side hustle, right? And you're like, oh God, my colleagues are going to judge me. What are they going to think of me? You know, me doing a yoga blog, or me suddenly on Facebook, I'm, you know, going live and doing videos. What are they going to think of me? What are my family going to think of me? Or what are my friends going to think of me? Or what are other teachers going to think of me? You know, maybe people are going to gossip about me, or maybe they'll think that I'm showing off on social media. So maybe they are some of the thoughts that you're having. Is anyone having these sort of thoughts? Or have you had these type of thoughts in the past where you think maybe someone's going to judge you, and that actually holds you back a bit? It holds you back a bit from moving forward. But the thing is, hey darling, the thing is, you know, people, maybe those are thought, maybe you're thinking that, I'm getting a yes here, but you don't know if other people are really having those thoughts about you, right? And if they are, who cares? Because isn't it your mission to help people? And isn't your mission so much bigger than some idle gossip or someone saying something about you? Isn't your mission to make an impact and to create impact and to help your community with their yoga journey and their stresses in life, and yoga's going to help them with their lives? Isn't that so much bigger than worrying about a few people saying, who does she think she is, going up on video and talking about this, that, and the other? Or, I didn't know she was a yogi. Where's this come from? Yeah. Oh, you know, or, everybody wants to be a yoga teacher. What? So now you want to be a yoga teacher? Yeah. So, I think, you know, it's, yeah, exactly, yeah. So I know you're feeling this. Harjit says, yeah, in the past when I had my corporate job. Exactly. So, you know what? It really, really is, we need to just move through that. We just need to move through that one. And I found that when you are, when you're leading with honesty and integrity, and you're leading with love, and you have really good intentions behind what it is that you're doing, people can't argue with you. Yeah. And let's face it, you know, as a yoga teacher, you have good intentions. Everything that you're sharing here, the messages that you're sharing, there is good intention behind every single one of you, and all of the things that you're doing and putting out into the world. You know, you're not sharing anything that's negative or can hurt anybody in any way. So, you know, yes, you might make a few mistakes along the way. And remember that this is business, essentially. This is business at the end of the day. You know, see your business as a laboratory where you are exploring and you're making mistakes. That's just part of the process, is to make mistakes, because that is when you're going to learn. That's when you're going to learn. But don't be afraid to experiment, and don't be afraid to get things wrong. Yeah, that's part of it, totally part of it. And, you know, some people might disagree with you, or, you know, maybe they think that you shouldn't be doing what you're doing, but really that's none of our business what they think. It's none of their business. You know, if somebody thinks that I shouldn't be doing a live on Instagram and on Facebook right now, then that's not my problem. Okay, it's their problem. So there you go, guys. There's the 4 fears that we talked about today. Any questions for me? Any questions? Yeah, so just keep remembering, you know, I'm going to lead here with honesty, and I'm going to go out there and say, you know, I want to serve you, I want to add value to you, I want to teach you, I want to make a difference. You know, let's talk. Yeah, that's what you want to be sharing out there on all of these incredible platforms that we have at our fingertips. And we're lucky that we're blessed that we have these platforms here. You know, we really are. So we need to use them, because the world needs yoga right now. Okay, and we are in a really great position to be able to share the message of yoga even wider. So we have a responsibility to show up, right? We have a responsibility to share our message with more people around the world, and to just make a much bigger impact. Okay, so let's have a conversation, and, you know, let's keep that conversation going. Let's keep talking about what we're doing here, how we want to help people. And the more you do that, the more, you know, you're going to grow, and the easier it will become. We need to get comfortable, don't we? We need to get comfortable with feeling uncomfortable in the beginning, and it will just get so much easier. Hey guys, hello. Thank you for joining. Right at the very end, I'm just finishing up, but you guys can go and watch the replay. It will be here on Instagram for a little while, and I'm live here on Facebook as well at the same time. So that's why I'm a little bit looking at both of you, but looking at everybody. But yeah, you can always come and watch the replay on Facebook at any time. All of the videos that I do, all of these live trainings that I do every single week, I'm here showing up for you. I'm being visible every week and sharing with you. You can go back into the archive and watch all of them on the Digital Yoga Academy Facebook page. So make sure you go and do that. And yeah, I think, you know, just let go of all of these fears, guys. You know, we're never going to be able to please everybody. It's just, that's not how it works. And it's really not your job to like make everybody happy. Okay, your job is really just to fulfill on your purpose and to get it out there. Yeah, that's your responsibility, is to get your message out there, not hold back. Okay, so I will love you and leave you all. Just thinking if there's anything else to say. Yes, there is something else to say. The Yogipreneur podcast is live on iTunes. You heard it here first, actually. This is the first, because I've not properly announced it yet, but I may as well. Now that you guys are here, I'm going to talk about it. The Yogipreneur podcast has just been approved on iTunes. It's also on Spotify as well. There's 3 episodes there to get into, and I'll be sharing more about that anyway with you guys on email. And there's also going to be some Thanksgiving gifts. I'm sharing some gifts with you guys tomorrow on email. So if you're not on my email list, go to digitalyogaacademy.com and sign up to get access to my resource library, and you will receive the email tomorrow. Okay, so that's going to be landing in your inbox tomorrow. There's some gifts that I'm sharing with you to give thanks to you guys for being an awesome part of my community. Okay, perfect. I will see you guys next week. Keep checking in, keep being awesome, and lots of love. Bye bye.